hockey fans. Welcome back into the neutral zone on IE Sports Radio. The All-Star break has come and gone. Teams have gotten a chance to rest. Some stars have gotten to shine. And now it's time for the second half. We've got streaks going on in the NHL. The Edmonton Oilers trying to keep some history going. We've got more head coaches getting fired. We've got injured players coming back. So much to be catching up on. We've got players getting traded in the NHL. What a time to be alive in the NHL. But that's not all we're going to talk about. We've got to take a look at the college landscape as well. Zach's got some stories from South Bend over the weekend. We got to attend Michigan State versus Notre Dame. So we'll have some stories from that. And we'll just catch up on everything else going on around the NHL and hockey landscape. All that plus more. You know what it's time for. Protect the puck. Don't get caught off sides. Protect that 5-hole. Light the lamp. Let's go. And hello and good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome back into the neutral zone. Adam Karnick here with you. Zach Puplis is here as well. We have a ton to get into. We survived the NHL All-Star break. We survived Justin Bieber being, Justin Bieber and unfortunately a hockey fan and all that foolishness there intertwined. We survived the NHL All-Star festivities, tons of 3-on-3 hockey. And Zach, you even got to mix in a little bit of college hockey over the weekend too. How was your weekend, sir?
Yes, sir. It was a good weekend. We had fun at the game. We picked the wrong one to go to. Saturday night was the Spartan win. We had to live through the Notre Dame win. But regardless, it was still a fun experience. First time at their arena. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, we're going to dive into that some more as well. But we have hit the second half of the NHL season. It is now officially go time. Everybody got their chance to rest. You had some of the stars come out and shine. They had their moments there for a little bit. Connor Bedard got to be seen a little bit. It made me feel good there for a minute. I got to see my guy for a little bit. He still looks chiseled as ever as an 18-year-old. It's wonderful. It's great. It's fantastic. And he's actually shooting again too. So, there is hope at the end of the tunnel eventually for me somewhere. But we're on to the second half. We've got 8 games in action tonight. Let's do a quick rundown real quick before we get into our news and notes. And hello to everyone in the chat room. Taryn Rodriguez, Jen B, Ralph Calise. Good evening, everybody. Glad you are here with us. If you are listening live here on Tuesday night in Spreaker.com and you're not in the chat, get in there. Make a little username for yourself. Have some fun. We'll interact. We'll get some back and forth there. Taryn has got some hard-hitting California hockey questions that he's got to have answered by us in this show. So we gotta dive into that. But let's set the stage here. Zach, we've got 8 games tonight. Not all of them are currently going, but take us through the 7 that are active right now, and then we'll get more into that 8th one towards the end of the show.
Yeah, for sure. So Flames are up 2-0 on the Bruins in the third period. Looks like that Period just started a couple minutes ago. Sabres and Stars. Stars are up 2-1 in the third. Flyers are up 2-1 over the Panthers in the third. Penguins are up 3-0 over the Jets. Wow, that's also in the third. Canadiens and Capitals. Canadiens lead that 3-1 in the third. Canucks and Hurricanes. Canucks. Oh man, that's a good game. 3-2 in the third. And Devils and Avalanche. Devils lead that 3-1, and that's in the second. Still to come tonight, the anticipated matchup: Oilers and Golden Knights. At 10 p.m., will the Oilers break the NHL win streak record? We shall see.
We shall see. Now they could just tie it tonight. It'll be a little
tie. Okay.
Yeah, they'll tie if they win tonight. They will tie it. But we'll get a little bit further on into that as we go. I'm like you. I'm a little surprised by some of the scores I'm seeing here tonight. The Penguins all over the Jets. Ralph, I know, is very excited about that. Letang with a goal, Carter with a goal, and Rust with the other goal in there. And I'm not seeing anybody with multiple assists either. So everybody just with 1 point on the night, but still some good stuff going on there with the Penguins. That score doesn't surprise me too terribly much. The Canucks and the Hurricanes, I continue to just... I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop with Vancouver. Some of it with Vancouver is they're young and they're dumb and they don't know any better, and so they're just winning hockey games regardless of what they're supposed to do. They're just winning hockey games, and I haven't quite come to grips with that yet. Lindholm with 2 goals. There was a trade involving Lindholm too that we'll need to get ourselves into at some point tonight. He's got 2 goals as he's out there with the Vancouver Canucks now. So all kinds of fun stuff to get into and to get through. But the All-Star festivities, we may as well start there because it happened. It's over. It's done. We all survived. We've talked before. I know we've talked in years past. I do genuinely feel like the NHL probably does the All-Star stuff the best because they're at least willing to acknowledge the absurdity of it all. That right. They're kind of willing to say, you know what? This is really for the fans. This is it. We're here as an entertainment product for the fans, and it's a chance for everybody else to kind of catch a break now. So we can be a little ridiculous. We could be a little silly. Major League Baseball genuinely tries to act like their All-Star game actually stands for something, which is frankly stupid. And
well, yeah, I was gonna say home field advantage in the World Series, right?
Right, and that's just so misbegotten and dumb.
All just based off of an All-Star game, yeah.
Right, yeah. And then in the NFL, they kind of have started to figure it out, but it's still they have it at the end of the season, and most of the guys have checked out by that point. They're getting better about recognizing the absurdity of it all, and theirs was also over the weekend too. So you had the dueling effects there of the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge in the NFL going up the same weekend as the NHL All-Star festivities. So the NHL All-Star festivities actually took place on Saturday with Team Austin Matthews ultimately defeating Team Connor McDavid 7-4 in the final to get the win. But it's all silliness and it's splash plays and craziness and it's really just a celebration of, hey, we're having a great season and now for everybody else it's we get to take a week off. Thank you, guys.
Right. Well, no, I'm right there with you. I feel like before the change recently with the Pro Bowl. Okay, it's the Pro Bowl. Whoop-de-doo. It doesn't really mean much. It's just kind of um, wallpaper while you wait for the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But now that they switched it to flag football, it means even less in my mind. Like, whoop-de-doo.
Now, in the NHL, we had, of course, we had the two semifinal games before the actual championship of the All-Star game. Both of the semifinals went to a shootout. Do you like that for an All-Star game, or should they not let it come to that?
Is it just like the normal overtime rules? Like they still had to do overtime?
Yes.
Before they went to the shootout?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I mean, I guess if it follows the rules like everything else, the same structure, then I'm fine with it.
Okay. I like shootouts in general. I'm one of I know for a lot of hockey fans, I just angered them by saying that. I like shootouts. They're an entertaining product. I'm just fine with them not using them in postseason games. But I don't know about for an All-Star game. At that point, I'm kind of worried about somebody getting hurt at that point. You know, it's with an All-Star event, the last thing I want is for anybody to get hurt.
Yeah.
I just Good that's point. Always in the back of my mind. Yeah, God, just don't hurt yourself. Have fun, right. Do the thing, but don't get hurt. Do not get hurt doing this. You know, that we do not want that here. No. So I'm still a little torn on, because they'll put on moves, they will make the flashy plays, and it's just don't get hurt.
Right.
and press me, but somehow we needed to get the injuries off mode turned on here for these things. Just make sure that nobody gets hurt.
Yeah. Okay, so you said the one was the championship was the Connor McDavid team versus the Austin Matthews team. Okay, so what about the semifinals? Who were like the team captains, or were the teams named after those?
You had, as I get it pulled back up after I, of course, closed it right when you asked me that. There we go. You had in the first semifinal game, Connor McDavid defeated team Nathan McKinnon, and in the other semifinal game, it was team Austin Matthews defeated team Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes. Okay, gotcha.
So those were your captains.
Sure.
And Jeremy Swayman made I will say, it's not just for the skill guys too. Jeremy Swayman made an amazing save in the first game where he literally lost his stick, and then there's who needs a stick? I can still make this save here. So it's not just for the skill guys, which is fun. It's fun when goalies get in on the act. But
for sure.
But we're done. We've survived it. We moved on. We had 2 games last night. We've got the 8 games going on tonight. We're into the nitty-gritty now. We've got about a month before the trade deadline comes up. We've got, I think looking at the calendar at this point, I think we are less than 2 months left in the regular season. Is that right? As I say that, and then not quite.
Playoffs
We still have just it's the middle of April is the end of the regular season, but we're coming down on 2 months left to go in the season here. So we're getting into the last day of the regular season is April 18. So we're getting into the nitty gritty now of the season.
Yeah.
It's the teams have to make their moves. They have to make their positions.
I was going to say I always base it off of the commercials that we used to have on Fox Sports Detroit. It's April in the D because it meant like 3 of the 4 teams were in action.
Yep. Yeah, everybody but the Lions are active.
Well, even then you got like spring practices and stuff for them, I think.
Yep. I personally, for me, I like there's a sweet spot in October where I've got the Bears, the Blackhawks, the Cubs, all and the Sox all active at once, and
Nice.
it's glorious, and my sports brain just soaks it all in, and then I have to do a show part of me goes, I got to keep track of all this.
Oh my God! Right.
Show overload.
Frazzled.
That's all right. That's what a smartphone and notes are for.
Yes.
Good evening. Cale Henderson jumps into the chat room with us. He'll be coming on right after us. He says, "Go Knights!" About to go on that end of season run.
Ooh,
we're gonna be doing a little bit of a preview for the Vegas game tonight at the end of the show, because that game is in my opinion, what a way to kick off the second half of the season, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But Edmonton at Vegas. So much at stake for a regular season game going on in that one. But before we get there, we're going to take a quick little break, because then when we come back, Zach, you talked a little bit about it earlier. You got to go to, it was your first collegiate hockey experience, right? After graduating, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
you got to go as an alumnus to a game for the first time over the weekend. So I want to talk to you about that. We will take a peek into the college landscape as well. You are listening to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be right back after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show.
So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan
on the waitaminuteshow.com.
Ain't that right, Lopan?
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing, from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph DeLeese, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports, and I will update you on all that's black and gold, and have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph DeLeese, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. This is Jen D, host of the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. If you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in live to the Show of the Land on Tuesdays, where we will cover the Cleveland Browns, Cavs, Guardians, and Monsters. We will also talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets, Crew, Fury, and of course, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll also cover other colleges in the area like Akron, Kent State, Cleveland State, Mount Union, John Carroll, Baldwin Wallace, Youngstown State, among others. So like I said, if you love Cleveland and Columbus sports like I do, be sure to tune in Tuesdays to the Show of the Land with Jen B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter, at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we are presented by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, the single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Visit them on planetjerky.net to place your order. They offer free shipping on all orders of $50 or above. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. And brought to you by Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations, and you're looking for that extra special touch. Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or friend, and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. Follow them on Instagram at SealTheDeal_wax stamps and on Facebook at Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Now, IE Sports Radio has been around now for the last 9.5 years, bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with our shows. Also, check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio community forum, and stop by the shop and check out the merchandise. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. So, Zach, you got to have a little bit of fun this weekend. You have been to collegiate hockey games before, but you got to go to one now as an alumnus instead of a student. And you got to go into enemy territory. Tell us about your weekend, Zach.
Yes, sir. We had wanted to go to the one on Saturday, but then we found out tickets were a third of the cost if you went Friday night, and it was a homestand, so you had the same teams. I said, well, why the heck not?
Sure.
So we decided to go Friday night instead. We got there a little late. We grabbed dinner and then got there about the start of the second period. But we didn't miss much. It was still 0-0, MSU, Notre Dame. And first time at their arena. Yeah, I'd been to a couple games at Munn Arena on Michigan State's campus when I was a student. Great environment there as well. We love the pep band, everything. Same kind of deal here. It's a great environment, venue, pep band, lively crowd. So it was tied 0-0, and then we scored, and about 30 seconds later they scored, and my little woo was fast and quickly outnumbered when they scored. My buddy and I went there for a basketball game for the first time last year, and it was very similar experience of being outnumbered. So it was tied 1-1 going to the third, and then when they came back, it went quickly to hell. But it was topped off with an empty netter. Womp womp. So Irish won that one 4-1. But it was it was still a fun experience. Then coming to find out the one we didn't go to was the one that Michigan State won. Go figure.
Go figure, yeah.
Yeah, and it was not only that, but then it was like neither game was close. It was to the extremes both directions. It was 4-1 the Irish on Friday night when we went there, and then it was 4-0 Spartans on Saturday.
Now, I've been to Notre Dame for a hockey game. My wife and I went, oh boy, a few years ago now. We'll just leave it at that. But when we went, it was over the winter break for the students. So we didn't have the student section there. We didn't have the pep band there. What was it like? What was it like with the band there? That I associate a pep band with basketball and with football. I don't associate it with hockey. What is it like having the band there for a hockey game?
Oh, I mean, it's the exact same feel, same vibe. They pump up the crowd. They're playing the fight song. They're playing, it was 2000s night, so they were playing some, popular, Avril Lavigne, Miley Cyrus, whatever, some kind of version of their songs.
So you and I would have been singing along with all of the words then.
Yeah,
and the ones we didn't know, we'd just make up.
Right. And then they had the organist. I think she might have been the organist for the Blackhawks as well, but she was there playing the organ, keyboard, whatever. And they'd have a little game where if you could guess the song, then you get a Notre Dame hockey prize pack or something. And so one of them I knew right away. I didn't even need to see the 3 multiple choices. Second one, I had to have the multiple choices. Like I could not. Like if you had expected me, like every note sounded the same kind of. So I was like, how are we supposed to guess that one? And thank God they gave you the choices because I was like, okay, what did she just play? Okay, that kind of sounds like that one. Like that sounds like Party in the USA. Okay, got it.
We'll go with that one.
Yeah, but we loved having the band there. And even though I was in enemy territory, they get the fight song going and your blood just starts pumping, and all of a sudden, even if it's not your fight song, you find yourself kind of humming along to them like, dang it.
And how is it going to Notre Dame as the enemy? Because I'm assuming you were fully decked out in your Sparty gear and your Sparty paraphernalia. How is it walking into the Compton Ice Arena in enemy garb? Is it good-natured heckling? Is it the long glances? Is it you're fearful for your life? Put me on the scale here.
I was wearing green and white, but it was more of a neutral. It didn't actually say anything Michigan State.
So you chickened out.
No, that's just what I had available that night. And I didn't even have my Spartan hat. My Spartan hat had gotten wet the night before, so I had to swap out for a different hat that was completely neutral. It was like Ninja Turtles or something.
All right. Well, okay. I'll still ask the question though. Obviously, you start cheering for Michigan State, people are gonna notice.
Being in the region, there were enough Spartan fans there too. There was a guy right across the aisle who was a Michigan State fan. He was more Sparty clad than I was. He had the fake, Greek helmet on and everything, just like a plush one. But yeah. But yeah, people didn't seem to mind. I don't think it was. I think the rivalry between Notre Dame and Michigan State isn't as bad as Michigan and Michigan State, for instance. I think we're kind of like okay with each other. We respect each other as opposed to just, oh, I hate you. Oh my gosh, I want you to lose every game you play. Blah 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 blah. Like, yeah. So people were generally pretty cool about it. What else? My girlfriend liked the Notre Dame helmets because they were in gold, just like in football.
The Notre Dame uniforms for hockey, they are sharp. They do that right. That's the the sweater. The sweater is a good color. It's very this is where my pseudo journalistic side comes out. I can tell who the hell somebody is right away. I don't have to be constantly, what number is that? What number is that? You can everything pops. It's a very clean look. And yeah, those gold helmets, that's iconic. That's Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. Well, and to top it off, they even have gold Zambonis.
Ooh, I don't remember that from the last time I was there. That's pretty cool.
Did I not send you that? Dang, I should have sent you that.
You sent me a picture. Let me go back and.
I think I sent you the goalie because we had that question about the trapezoid.
Yep, you definitely sent me the goal. Oh, you did send me one of the Zamboni. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the hood of the Zamboni, for lack of the better term. The hood of the Zamboni is the gold. The rest of it's that classic Notre Dame blue color. But yeah, the hood is the hood, great big gold on there. That's sharp looking too.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous.
But
they have. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go right ahead. Continue.
In the four corners of the stadium, they have old school Notre Dame logos, 4 different script or different fonts of their logo, the ND together. So I thought that was really neat. I got pictures of those on the way out. Above the press box, I guess, they have "Onward to Victory," and it's bordered by 2 shamrocks. What else? It was really cool. We got there and it was dark because it was in between periods. But then when it was game time, all the lights just lit everything up. The band had played the War of 1812 Overture at one point, and Lori got it on a little video of it. Oh my gosh, it gives you chills. Yeah. What else? It was a sold out crowd, so it was like 5,200, I think.
Yeah, the official announced attendance Friday night, according to the Big Ten, official attendance was 5,292, which I felt like that stadium held more than that. But okay, they're considering that a sellout, so I'm not gonna tell them they're wrong.
Right. Well, beforehand last week we were chatting about it, and you said you felt it was bigger or smaller than the Griffins?
I felt it was very similarly sized to Van Andel Arena up in Grand Rapids, and that seats 10.
So it is smaller then. All right, gotcha.
So it's significantly smaller. So I am clearly misremembering. Which all right, I'll own that one. I have 2 kids. Sue me.
Well, they like Van Andel, they did have a second level of they have an upper bowl, lower bowl kind of deal. We were in the lower bowl. We were maybe, I don't know, like 10 rows up from the glass.
I was going to say, you were assuming that the pictures you took me were from your seats. You had very, very close to the glass, right on the goal line.
I couldn't. Yeah, we were right on the goal. I could not believe how we lucked out with those tickets. That was incredible. And yeah, it was so. We got their second period, so Michigan State was on our end at first. And then they traded, and Notre Dame was on our end for the third period.
So you get to see the game-winning goal happen in front of you, which normally is an exciting thing. In your case, yeah, that would be a disappointment.
Oh, well, it was an empty netter in Michigan State, so that was at the other end when it happened. Okay.
Yeah. So. Some quick stats from the game. Michigan State, and this was a top 20 matchup. Michigan State was ranked 8th at the time, and Notre Dame was ranked 20th at the time. So this was a fairly big matchup in college hockey for over the weekend. Sparty played well. I will give it to Sparty on that one for Friday night. Shots were dead even after 1 at 9 apiece.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame outshot Sparty 14-10 in the second period, so it would have been 23-19 at the end of 2. But then Michigan State outshot Notre Dame in the third. Just Notre Dame's found the back of the net and Sparty's did not.
Yeah.
Some good saves by the Notre Dame netminder at the end there.
Let's see here. So looking at their season schedule, Notre Dame had won 4 in a row prior to Saturday night's loss to my Sparties. And then you had talked about the building a top 20 matchup. And if you look at the Big Ten standings currently, excuse me, Michigan State is on top. They have 18 games they've played, 40 points. They're 12-4-2. And then Notre Dame is 4th out of 7. So Notre Dame sits 18 games played, 27 points, 8 wins, 8 losses, 2 ties. So definitely I'm really glad I it's such a short drive. It's like less than an hour, and it's a huge resource. We don't take advantage of it enough, I feel, living in this area.
It's well, depending on when you go, it can be significantly cheaper than their football tickets, but not always. As we take a quick peek around the men's college hockey as a whole, so that was a top 20 matchup over the weekend. There was a top 5 matchup last night, and not just in hockey, and not just in the Northeast, but in Boston. Last night, Boston College took on Boston University. Boston College, the number 1 ranked team in men's hockey, but it was number 3 Boston University that came out on top 4-3 in the Beanpot tournament last night.
Nice.
So, and then there is one game going on tonight in college hockey between 2 unranked teams, Niagara and Canisius going on tonight. But we take a look at the rankings. So right now, Boston College, universally number 1, the only team that got any first place votes. We'll see if they hang on to that after that loss last night to Boston University. We'll see if Boston University maybe jumps up. No other change The top 4 all stayed the same from a week ago. We do have a change at 5. Quinnipiac moved up from 7 to 5. Maine fell from 5 down to 7. No other. The next change we have there is just some minor ones. Massachusetts moved up from 11 to 10. Michigan from 12 to 11. Cornell from 13 to 12. Providence fell from 10 to 13. Then some minor changes all throughout, but we do actually have now officially a tie for 20th. So Michigan State somewhat knocked Notre Dame out of the rankings. Notre Dame now tied for 20th overall with what was the school now at 20, Zach? I've just got the initials in front of me, and I'm trying to remember the R.
Sure, Rochester Institute of Technology.
There we go, Rochester. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So we do have a tie now for 20th. So we'll see how that all squares up. Of course, the Frozen Four tournament is coming up soon. We'll see how all that winds up, but I would imagine that we are heading for Boston. Boston will be well represented when we get to that point.
Yeah. This is an article on college hockey, kind of like a mid-season review, kind of like we were doing with the report cards. Who do you expect to see in the Frozen Four? These 3 different talking heads. One guy, Boston University, Boston College, North Dakota, and Denver. Next guy says BC, BU, Denver, and North Dakota as well. Third guy, he has 3 of the 4, Boston College, Boston University, Denver, and Quinnipiac. He says he thinks Wisconsin with a great defense, has an outside shot as well. Boston College and Boston University are insanely talented, with several players on both teams are going to wear an NHL sweater sooner than later. Haven't seen a team with that makeup win it all in a while. Maybe this is the year.
Yep. We'll start diving into that a little bit more as we get closer, but still good to catch up on the college hockey landscape. All right. We're going to take one more quick break, and then when we come back, a massive game in the NHL to kick off the second half of the season. So much on the line in this one. Edmonton v. Las Vegas, set to drop the puck here in just a little under 20 minutes it's hockey time, probably about 20 minutes from now. But we will give you a little preview of that, and we'll also feed you directly into Sin City Sports with Cale Henderson right after us. This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey sports fans, are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a down south education on Florida sports and athletics. It's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach here with you for just about 10 minutes before we turn things over to our colleague, Cale Henderson, who popped into the chat just a little bit ago. Cale has got a massive game going on in his backyard. Yeah, we know about the football stuff that's going on this weekend. That's not what we're talking about, though. No, we have got two of the premier teams in the NHL right now getting ready to lock heads tonight with the defending champion Las Vegas Golden Knights playing host to the white-hot Edmonton Oilers. Let's kind of set the stage here, Zach, real quick for this game. There's so much here. Obviously, both teams are division rivals. They currently sit just 5 points away from each other in the standings. Vegas in second, Edmonton in third. But, of course, the huge story in this one is Edmonton comes into tonight riding a 16-game winning streak to have launched themselves right back into the conversation here in the Pacific Division in the NHL. They went from being 2 games under 500 to they're now 14 games above 500 and have soared back into the playoff race. Vegas, meanwhile, the exact opposite. Got off to a terrific start to the season, 11-0-1 on the year. They have cooled off. They have gone 18-15-5 since then. They've had some injuries. Aiden Hill is once again back in net, and Vegas plays so much better when Aiden Hill is there. But Edmonton seems to have figured it out with their new head coach. What are you looking forward to in this game?
Well, yeah, I'm looking back too at the same time. Yeah, they had such a rough start. They were they were down there with the Sharks. I remember us talking about they had lost 13 of their first 18 games. Their lone win streak being a New York Islander sandwich on Seattle bread back in the middle of November. But yeah, they've definitely rebounded well, and they have nearly identical records. They're both 29-15, and the only difference coming in the overtime category, 29-15-1 for Edmonton and 29-15-6 for Vegas. So I just think it's going to be a great game. I hope it's going to be a barn burner, lots of goals, and for the sake of the record, I hope Edmonton can keep it going. I mean, they've just been on a tear, like you said, white hot.
Yeah, and if you're Vegas coming into this, they're saying the right things. That it's, look, we understand that they're coming in on a hot streak, but we're just trying to stay alive in the division at this point. We've got to have this one, if for no other reason, we've got to maintain our position in the standings. We're suddenly, they're right behind us in the rearview mirror. Look out behind you. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear.
Hot on your heels, they're hearing footsteps.
Exactly. So they've got to just focus on. They can't get too. If you're Vegas, I feel you can't get too wrapped up in trying to stop the streak. You've got to just focus on winning a game.
Get back to their early season form, and remember, hey guys, who's got the belt? Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's yeah. They're on a winning streak, but we're the defending champs here, guys. They still got to come through us. Yep. William Karlsson of Vegas. I don't know if you saw this in the prep for tonight. For Vegas, William Karlsson actually knows what it's like to be on Edmonton right now. He was part of Columbus's 16-game winning streak. What was it, 7-8 years ago?
Oh wow! Thanks.
So he's got a little. He's got a little experience there. There was a quote in here though that I really wanted to pull. It was from I believe it was Alex Pietrangelo. Yeah, here we go. This is Alex Pietrangelo, defenseman for Vegas. We know of the streak that they're on, and it would be great to stop them. That would be fun. I'm sure if we were in the same situation, they'd be saying the same thing. But for us, it's not a huge focus because they've obviously fought their way back in the standings, and now it's an important game for the standings more than anything. Sure, it'd be great to stop them. It's two good teams going at it, but for us, the focal point is two teams playing great, and you want to push ahead of them. So that's, you got to remember, you can't get, if you're Vegas, you can't get too wrapped up in trying to stop the streak that you forget that you need to win a hockey game.
Yeah, exactly.
If Edmonton wins this, they're within 3 points of Vegas. This is a huge game in that regard for Edmonton. But right now, they're both in the playoffs. But it also, Edmonton, it wouldn't take a whole lot to fall back out of the playoffs again. They're not that far ahead of Los Angeles, the Kings. And I know Taryn asked this at the top of the show about this. The Kings joined the carousel of, hey, let's fire our head coach and bring in an interim and see if that can see if that can fire things up and get things changed before we get going.
Yeah.
How many coaches are we at now that have gotten fired this season?
A good half dozen, probably, at least.
At least. I genuinely have stopped counting because it feels like every couple of weeks it's all right. Who's next? And you are right. Yeah, you are correct. It is 6. It was the Kings. The Kings fired Todd McClellan. McClellan was the 6th coach to get fired this season. Edmonton, Minnesota, St. Louis, and the Islanders.
That was a good guess.
So you were spot on the money.
Nice.
You were spot on the money. Taking over in Los Angeles then is Jim Hiller. He will be he will wear the interim tag for the rest of the season.
Okay.
For Los Angeles, it's basically they had a rough January, and with Edmonton becoming white hot, I can understand a little bit of, hey, we don't want to fall behind here. We can't afford to fall off the pace here a little bit. We got to keep moving. It feels to me a little desperate, that I don't know. To me, it feels a little desperate to launch your coach. They got off to a great start. They were 27-4. Then they dropped 8 straight. They're 23-15-10 now. So yes, they have cooled off, but I don't know. To me, it feels a little knee-jerk rather than making a sound hockey decision.
Yeah, true. But like you said, they probably just felt the need. Oh gosh, Edmonton's on a hot streak. Vancouver's good again. Like, we can't be falling behind.
Exactly. All right. There is the horn.
Real quick before you leave, can we? The announcement came out. The Blackhawks are going to host the 2025 NHL Winter Classic at Wrigley Field. They're going to play St. Louis Blues.
Woohoo! Hawks and
Only
Blues.
The second.
Outside in St. Louis. I love it. I love it.
Only the second Winter Classic at Wrigley since 2009, featuring the Blackhawks and your Blackhawks in my record.
That was a fun game. That was a fun game. That Hawks Blues. The only complaint I would have is the Hawks typically take the lead that goes out there. So, but hey, it's always fun when the Blues roll into town and we get to just smack their little St. Louis faces in. So that'll be a fun one to prep for here in a little bit.
Knockout war.
And Connor Bedard will get his first taste of outdoor hockey in Chicago. That'll be fun. All right, that does it for our show here tonight. Thank you to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet, and Seal the Deal with Wax Seals, our new sponsor there as well. Thank you to both of them. Thank you to Larry B. All the hard work you do behind the scenes, sir, for everything you're doing at IE Sports Radio. We really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody in the chat room tonight. Ted Rodriguez, Ralph Calise, Patty Bax, Jen B, Larry B, and of course, the man coming up right after us, Cale Henderson of Sin City Sports. He will be keeping a close eye on that Edmonton-Vegas game going on there in Vegas. They'll be dropping the puck anytime here in the next 10 minutes or so, probably. That should be a good one. I look forward to hearing Cale's takes and thoughts on that game. Connor McDavid versus Aiden Hill should be a good one. For IE Sports Radio, he is Zach Mumplis. I am Adam Karnick. Together, we are the Neutral Zone. Everybody be safe, be healthy, stay out of the penalty box, protect that 5-hole, light the lamp. We will see you